Hello everyone, this is Pico Entertainment and we're back again, and here now we have another video for you. And in the lead up to the 5th Indiana Jones movie, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which is due for release on the 30th of June 2023, we will take a look back on all of the previous installments within the franchise. And you can check out my reviews of previous movies within the series, and I'll leave some links within the description. So in this video we will focus on the action-packed second installment, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Released on May the 23rd, 1984, it has Harrison Ford reprising his iconic role as Indiana Jones, this time starring alongside Kate Capshaw, Ke Huy Quan, Amrish Puri, and it was once again directed by master filmmaker Steven Spielberg. Now the story of Temple of Doom is set 1 year before Raiders of the Lost Ark in 1935, where we see Indiana Jones in a Shanghai nightclub negotiating a deal with the Shanghai mobsters for the remains of Nurachi. After being double-crossed, Indy leads a frantic escape alongside his fellow companion, young orphan Short Round, and they're also joined by the nightclub singer Woody Scott. The trio eventually find themselves in an Indian village of Mayapur, where they meet the villagers who tell the stories of how evil groups known as the Thugee kidnapped their children and stole a sacred artifact known as the Shankara stones. Indy and the others agree to help them, and they travel to Bangkok Palace, where they suspect where the Thugee are based. After dining with the young Maharaja, the trio delve into the palace and discover the Thugee cult carrying out human sacrifices. They also locate the village children who have been enslaved to dig into the caverns to search for 4 other Shankara stones. The Thugee leader Molaram believes that when all stones are collected, that they will give the cult the ultimate power to rule the world. What then follows is an epic struggle as the heroes go all out to fight the Thugee cult and find the stones and also rescue the children. Now when looking back on Temple of Doom, it's a film that I will have deep personal affection for, having so many memories of watching it so many times on VHS throughout the 80s. And having rewatched it recently, I still am of the same opinion that it's possibly the most sheerly enjoyable and entertaining movie ever. In terms of a pure experience, it's an absolute thrill from start to finish, giving you everything as a viewer: a relentless pace, constant action, high stakes, endless moments of danger, peril, jeopardy and spectacle. But it's not just mindless spectacle here just for the sake of it. There very much remains a certain skill and wit. We have plenty of humour and charm, and we also have pauses for character moments and dynamic, which just add to the overall enjoyable experience. Now despite it being a sequel, Temple of Doom very much stands on its own, not having to rely on anything set up from the first film, and that's what makes it truly special. And this is what really all great sequels do. I really don't think there's a boring or mundane moment within the film. This is typified with the fantastic opening sequence, the dancing number Anything Goes, an electric exhibition to fully open as we see all of the nightclub dancers all in sync dancing in rhythm. And certainly the next 10 to 15 minutes, everything from the nightclub rescue to the plane escape, it's all fantastic. Okay, things may go slightly over the top as we see the heroes jumping out of a yellow raft from a plane and landing on the snow and sliding away, but it's still so much fun to enjoy. We then have a truly great dinner scene at Bangkok Palace, where we get quite the assortment of treats for dinner, everything from eyeballs to snakes and the classic chilled monkey brains. It's such a great example of how to break the action, providing lots of great humour and hilarity. Now shortly after, the film takes a sudden turn where we get the introduction of the Thugee cult, and here we have the most violent and controversial segment of the film. We have the human sacrifice of seeing somebody having their heart ripped out before them and then being sent down to the pit of lava burning up. We then see the harsh treatment of the children that are all enslaved. We see Indy and Short Round being whipped and flogged, with Indy being forced to drink human blood, which makes him transform into a much more darker evil manifestation of himself. It's gruesome, violent, dark and bold, gripping, and it's absolutely magnificent. This 20 minutes or so keeps you right on the edge all the way through. Now whilst many have derided this part of the movie, I really don't understand why, whether they felt it was too violent, but if you remember, Raiders of the Lost Ark also had moments of dark violence within its story. But once again, it shows how the movie exceeds in escalation and atmosphere, and it's absolutely fantastic. And all of this culminates in a spectacular mineshaft chase, a truly thrilling sequence where we see all of the heroes being pursued on a rail track. It literally is a roller coaster ride as we see all of them leaping across tracks, being pulled across from side to side. It's popcorn entertainment and adrenaline rush at its finest. And once again, it embodies all of the fun elements that makes this film so special. Now in terms of the cast, they're all great within their roles. Once more, Harrison Ford is the embodiment of an iconic action hero. Every bit as daring and perhaps even more physically active this time round, but the personality and vulnerability is still there, very much the inspirational hero at its finest. We do then have to give a special mention to Ke Huy Quan's short round, Indy's orphaned companion, instantly likeable, helping to bring so much of the fun and the humour, yet he's much more than just a standard comic relief. And he's every bit as involved as Indy in terms of all of the heroics. And the bond between the two characters is absolutely great, adding moments of heart and emotion, once again drawing you to the overall story. The chemistry between these two characters is also natural and organic, and when we look at Short Round, we are reminded that he is without question one of the all-time great movie sidekicks. We then have to talk about a far more contentious character in Kate Capshaw's Willie Scott, quite the contrast from Karen Allen's fiery and feisty Marion from Raiders of the Lost Ark. This time we have a much more complacent, whiny and very screamy personality. It does get a bit annoying at times, to be true, but I still overall feel she's likeable presence and very much watchable because of the interplay that she has with both Ford and Kwan in their roles. And the dynamic between all of these characters carries the film so well. We then have Amishri Puri as Morlam Ram, again looked down upon by some as being much more of a cartoonish stereotypical villain, but you can't deny that he does carry a vivid presence and imposing nature throughout his design and look, and even though he lacks the personality and intelligence of Paul Freeman's Belloc from the first film, I still think overall it's a great antagonist to support the movie. So we then go on to the movie's overall release, and it was a massive blockbuster success, grossing over $333.1 million from just a $28 million budget. It would eventually go on to beat out other huge movies throughout the year from the likes of Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters and Gremlins to become the highest grossing movie of 1984. Now it would go on to have a major impact within the industry, as it would become one of the first films to warrant the creation of the PG-13 rating in cinemas, and this was due to its intense moments of violence. And this drew some critical backlash, with some deeming it not suitable for kids, which I've always found strange, as if they forgot Raiders of the Lost Ark, which also had intense moments of violence, particularly when you look at its face-melting climax, which is every bit as gruesome as what we've seen within Temple of Doom. The movie was also accused of racial stereotyping, especially concerning the Asian characters. Now, I honestly don't think there's any racial commentary, intentional or unintentional, throughout the film, but it's something that's become much more frowned upon in these more sensitive PC times. Now, director Steven Spielberg himself has stated his disdain at the dark nature of the film. Both he and George Lucas were going through relationship issues with their spouses at the time, and they've claimed that this was the driving factor in the movie's overall dark tone and intensity. And when we look at it, Temple of Doom was really the last massive blockbuster success from what I've always called the cinematic dream team of Steven Spielberg, George Lucas and movie composer John Williams, whose collaborations had dominated mainstream cinema from the mid-70s to the mid-1980s. Now after this success, Spielberg would go on to tackle far more smaller scale character pieces such as The Colour Purple in 1985 and Empire of the Sun in 1987. Ironically, he wouldn't enjoy the same amount of box office success again until the third entry within the franchise, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade in 1989. But despite all of the criticism, I still believe Temple of Doom is absolutely amazing and still think of it as the most sheerly all-round entertainment movie blockbuster. Now, as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate that Raiders of the Lost Ark is the superior all-round movie, but Temple of Doom is the one I'd choose to watch if I had to pick between the two. I simply adore this movie so much. So many memories again of rewatching it throughout my younger years, and when I look back on it, it really was part of that golden era of mainstream cinema within the early to mid 80s, where we had so many films full of adventure and escapism. When we look at the Rocky movies, Beverly Hills Cop, Karate Kid, Ghostbusters, The Goonies and Gremlins, all of these were such endless watchable entertainment, giving us characters that we could really root for, much more simple, concise stories of good versus evil, provided us with many examples of excitement and wish fulfillment as well as characterization. Very much a more innocent and much more appreciative time within movies and culture. And Temple of Doom in terms of entertainment is right up there, still today providing plenty of thrills and excitement and intensity and overall satisfaction when you watch it now. It is indeed very much the roller coaster of cinematic entertainment. So those are my overall thoughts and feelings and looking back on Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you have it right up there as the best, or indeed the worst of the franchise, as some people do look it upon. I really don't agree with that, but everybody's entitled to their opinion. And as I mentioned before, I will continue to review other remaining entries within the series, with the likes of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and of course the upcoming Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So look out for all of those reviews coming up within the channel. And if you have any other suggestions regarding any other movies, television series, or any other topics within the pop entertainment and cultural scene that you'd like to see me cover, then also let me know within the comments, and I will see if I can provide further commentary for you on those topics within the future. Please also hit and like the subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you very, very soon.